Oh wait, did it work? It worked. Oh, my light's on. God, that other light's on terrible. Hey Google, turn off all the lights.
4 lights off.
Let's make this a little more dynamic. Zhuzh it up, as the kids would say. Do a big old zhuzh. Hit him with the zhuzh. One of the zhuzhes. A zhuzh. Alright. Vibe coding. I'm just doing some vibe coding, bro. Just vibe coding, bro. Let's see. Let me do something I should have done before I started. Go to Twitter and go back to that's muffled. I really don't like how that's muffled. Gaming in today's day for 1% but not stream there. What is a good pose? Just figuring something out here. I mean, interesting. X apparently, the algorithm, currently favors YouTube embeds more than Twitch links. Is this true? ChatGPT says it's true in spirit but not literal. Downranks all external links. That's what I thought. Alright, on the side I was doing something else, just trying to figure out a quick post that I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm doing today, that's the other thing. I jumped into this without a plan, and I have to figure that out, and I'm 20 minutes deep into starting today, so I don't know if this will work. I wish I still had that on my Twitch now that I think about the Kanto stuff, because I just saw something by Pokemon. Yeah, I should add it. Edit my about. Just doing Kanto stuff. Just Kanto stuff. Alright. That's there. Boom. I don't think I need that. Coral. Oh wait. I don't want that. Here we go. When are you not? Somebody said. Come watch me break everything. In circles. Negative 26. Build in public is weird. Unity 3D, that I'm fine with. In 3D game design. What is your experience in 3D game design? Alright. I am just happy to post that. Meant to say solo developing, but can't get them all. Okay. So, where am I here? Back to Unity. We are going to talk about what I've done so far. This is day 4. Yesterday I was preoccupied. I had a couple of things happening, and I had some phone calls, and I just was not able to keep up. Today, I think I'm going to have about a solid 2-hour session with pretty much no interruptions besides from me, which I'm good at doing. I'm very good at interrupting myself. I'm a pro at interrupting other people, but I'm basically like transient when I know how to do it for myself. So today I am at a point where this game, okay, always should start with what I had set up yesterday or previously. I lost my directional control, so I'm going to have to reclaim that at some point. But leave rotation, freeze rotation is set, so I'm not spinning around when I'm bumping into objects. Jump. The gravity is not bad. I mean, like, it has to be something a fast-paced game. And I'll explain why in a little bit, but this ability to jump pretty far is very, very effective, I think. And so I want to keep it, but I know that the physics aren't totally there because I guess either the physics aren't there or there aren't enough platforms to experiment with the idea. Meaning that there would have to be some platforms that would be pass through, right? Like you wouldn't be that wouldn't have any kind of collider incident, so that like if you're haven't even explained the game again. Okay, so build these platforms. You can jump. As you can see, there's a green vine. This is the crux of the video game we are thinking about making, and it is it's Tarzan. I'll just say that it's Tarzan. So it's Tarzan styled AAA video game. We have Spider-Man. We don't have Tarzan. And Tarzan's kind of free IP. If you notice, oh, Okay, a couple of things going on here. I can jump on this. I can grab the rope, the vine. It somewhat swings how I would love it to, but as you can see, there's a gravity thing where it kind of floats up there. And it works. It really does work. From not knowing how to make or do anything, it's pretty fascinating. This is definitely like a collision error, so I want to just avoid that. Just get off of the platform. I can go up, which certainly isn't helpful. Once I let go, it'll obviously just let go, but if I'm swinging, like I showed before, I can swing forward, and there. Ta-da! So what else? You can do loop-de-loops. If you do it right, well, that is right, but if you do it a different way and right, you can do pretty cool stuff. So anyway, so you grab onto that, and you do a circle. Ooh. And boom. And let's say you want to, hold on, let me do that again. Swing. Right, so you just push. There's enough momentum wherever you let go, it'll give you momentum to swing around. Ta-da! Alright, my little fall guy bean. They could have done a lot better with Fall Guys in so many ways. Alright, let's see. Don't forget to, oh, well, we'll see. So anyway, right here we have a vine. Some other things about the vine, it has different strands, and the different strands cluster. So as you grab it, well, oh, that's not what I'm trying to show. What I am trying to show is that you can climb the vine technically right now. I need to make the vines much longer, and I have to remember how I did that. You can descend the vine, which that leads to that. You can climb the vine. Problem is you're climbing the vine. I need to climb the cube. So I'll figure that out later. Anyway, made a bounce platform. I think that's the next and last big adjustment, besides some of the code that adjusted everything. Made a bounce platform. It's not as bouncy as I had hoped. I had made it bouncier before. I can actually make it bouncy now. Where is my bounce? My precious bounce. Oh, it's PMAP bounce. There we go. 6. Oh, 1. Bounce, combine, multiply. I wonder. Nope. Average? Makes the gravity a little heavier, it looks like. Minimum. There's just none, but maximum does it. Winter Storm Watch. Always one of those. Okay. Static friction will make it so it will still bounce forever, technically. Should stop it pretty quick, actually. No? Honestly, I'm not clear about what these are doing. 0.2, 0.2, 0.1, 2. That 2, 1 is the maximum. So 0.1. You know what? 0.5. I had it at 0.55, I think, before. Either way, the point is, I was trying to make something a little more tactile to bounce off of. So you can think of, like I said, Tarzan, maybe like a bouncy pad or a bush that isn't necessarily, like something that could help you launch, but it's going to matter on timing, things like that. And I had some raised platforms over there because I want to be able to see if I can get to them. See if I can do it today. even though I had 2 vines set up before. I think I am going to work on my cluster a little bit, refine how it looks at touch, make it longer, and I guess that's what I'll work on today, is mostly the vine one more time before I move forward into planning other assets, which is what I'm going to work on with ChatGPT over here. Okay, so let me just... Oh, fuck. So, the goal is to either jump onto that platform, which is really hard, kind of, from this status, but the gravity will do it. And if I have enough slack, which that should be enough to make it up there with the gravity and everything, even with this behind me, that's definitely going to make it. And I don't have to be directly on. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay. I mean, it sounds really dumb in so many different ways. It really does. It sounds ridiculous. But, I mean, I didn't know how to do this the last 3 sessions. How to make a rope that does that. How to have the physics work like that. And frankly, I still don't know the mechanics of it as well, because I don't read the code. I haven't read the code. I've worked dynamically with LLMs to figure out what I'm going to do and how to build this. And I do intend to really make it a AAA game. I don't know how, but it would be fun. And it would be, a nice challenge. Something to do for myself. In all these cases, I must continue. So, stop it there. I'm going to focus on the vine for a minute. Oh, game mode. There we go. So we're going to move the vine up. We're going to make it tremendously larger. And we're going to work on the strands in a little bit. There's no pivot offset, right? I gotta make sure I'm using the number pad, otherwise I'm gonna fuck up. So I'm not seeing what's going on with this, and I'm not loving that. So I'm not gonna bother. I'm not gonna mess with cube. Let me see if I can go into vine anchor and help myself a little better here. Okay, I don't want to do that. 2. Oh, that's 5. Whoops. Yeah, let's make it 2. I can see it. I'll move it up. Right there. I mean, let's see how that looks. So it does hang me pretty well. So the vine itself, I'm so confused about how to make that. Okay, let me climb. Alright. I have a lot of ideas for what I want to take the next steps of, and I'm not writing any of them down. And I'm not working on them. I'm just kind of troubleshooting my brain, debugging my brain. So having said that, I'm going to figure out real quick how I want this to look. Oh, wait. We're going to have that there. We're gonna leave it like that, because the rope seems to come all the way down. I'm not exactly sure if I'm right about that, but... The vine anchor. Oh no. The hell is that? What's going on over there? If I turn that off, those vines will disappear? No, they do not. In fact, it's weird. Just kind of hanging here. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Assist mechanics, fail spaces, vertical paths will open up level design possibilities. Fail spaces. Let's do that. I will work on. You know what? I'll check in later. And I'll throw that in there for now. Okay. Current blockers, next steps, technical. Okay. Okay, it is Feb 2026. We are going to work and improve how the vines function. I believe, if I'm right. Okay. Yeah, so if I pull back, it just doesn't make sense. So, okay. When I am holding onto a vine and I pull back or press D or press and hold D, I need to get a screenshot of that. It's a visual that's going to be really efficient to have if I actually do that. Hold on. And you know what? Twitch, you know what I'm going to do, Twitch? I'm going to challenge you. Going into just chatting. How about that? Anyway, so... I don't know if that was too high, but... Oh, it's not. It's actually much better. Okay. So, where am I? Almost lost my train of thought. Oh, right. I need a screenshot of this. Oh, shit. I don't know how I'm going to get it. Oh, right. That's how I'm going to get it. Ugh. So, when I hit pause... Did it work? Okay, wait. Is it because I climbed? It's because I climbed. Okay. There we go. Come on. There, that was the shot. Finally. Rope hanging. And what? The rope hanging and what? Big words. Big words, big words. The rope hanging and... my brain. I'm tired. I need to get more sleep every day. Oh my god. Okay. Just a non-logical due to the rope hanging, and it clearly looks like it is attached via invisible hook. One. In reality, it is a rope vine and should operate as such. In that, you need momentum to build a swing up, and you should not be able to pull back to the max distance unless momentum has been built up to reach it. This includes doing a full loop, for instance. It's because the pacing of the game makes sense to me that it would work like that. When you're moving that fast, you will need to be able to fly off, but if you lose your momentum, you shouldn't be able to just, be like, oh, I need to get somewhere fast, and I mean, it's like the rope is, or the vine is throwing you. That's what's going on. It's like the vine is throwing you. So, not really concerned about it doing that as much as I want it to just behave a little better. Oh yeah, and when I climb up the, okay. So we're only going to fix the vine right now. And when I climb up the vine, what does it do? Brain. When I climb up the vine, it the player is climbing in parallel to the vine. I'm going to put it in quotes because it's the cube and everything. The player is climbing in parallel to the vines. When I climb up or descend, or descend. Player is climbing in parallel to the vines, hanging while being, let's just say, toted off. I'm saying it because it just makes sense, and then the visual, the reference, etc. In that I can be holding back and then climbing, but not on the actual middle object. That is something that needs to be reworked. And I just had it in my head how I was going to say it. Not in parallel, obviously, but I want it to be reworked. Oh, so if you're going to climb, I mean, he's Tarzan. He should be able to climb while he's swinging. Okay. Now I'm thinking I should hold off on saying that part because okay, that is important. I don't want to climb in parallel. Middle vines, the actual vines, climbing in space, in the space next to it, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's what I would say. Nearby it, climbing in the space nearby it. Technically not on the rope. I said rope, but fine. Alright, let's see what it spits out. Actually, I just want to make sure if I want to toss it anything else right now. I actually don't. I know what I want to do. I want to experiment and nail down how to position my anchors for those vines so it looks more consistent. So let's send that out. I think I sent something to... Oh, wait. I don't want to go about the visual. Consider different assets to include, eventually NPCs and stuff. I've already considered poachers and like human elements, and then obviously violent animals. You probably want to have rescue missions, things like that. But let's see what kind of NPCs it recommends. Yeah, not and stuff. Eventually NPCs. What ideas would you recommend? All right. I sent both the screenshots. We're moving from arcade physics to momentum physics. Right. It's talking about the invisible line here. Code forces you to state the fantasy. You have too much power to push the rope away from the center without speed. The steering. Okay. The plan for today. We'll change the steering so you can't just lean out to the side, you have to pump. I think that's fair. We'll ensure that the strands converge exactly on a hand position, so you look like you're grabbing the bundle, not floating next to it. Thank you. Alright, before I go check that out, I'm going to rework this question real quick. And I write it also here so it can do what it did below, but I don't want to worry about visual polish. That's the big concern, because these coding projects, you end up having the LLM being like, we're almost there, and it starts to rush through parts that you really should be, in my opinion, considering and being like, okay, what do I want to add? How do I want it to grow? What should I be fixing? And then eventually, like I've joked about, you will break things. So I'm not worried about it looking the right way, because that really, it's called polish for a reason. You can implement all the visual assets at the end. I can do some like visual cues to help me know what I'm building. Having said all that, ChatGPT has been helping me with these assets, which is why I'm working on now getting some NPC ideas from it. But what I do need is I need not a transparent, but like a pass-through surface. So I had said it earlier today, when you're swinging, you should be able to fly up in the air, come back into the jungle, let's say, or through the jungle, and there would be bushes and branches you can't necessarily catch onto. So I want to be able to have an asset that I can build out eventually that is, you're soaring, you fly, and those are not catchable. And it keeps you in mind of what to look for. Different specific trees or hanging vines that are illuminated. I don't know. Haven't gotten that far. But something to signify that's where I'm going next. And if I go here, I'm not going to just land. I'm going to actually go right through. So it could just be like a cluster of branches that is just a plane, essentially. Not a real plane. Occasionally this thing drops out. I want to build a platform. Build a new platform that would be a pass-through. And that when swinging around, the player would know that the surface was not solid, I guess? Yeah, I think that would be the best way to say it. It's not solid. And they could fall through it. For instance, a cluster of branches. Don't worry about making it look like that. Okay. Because sometimes you just got to preempt it and be like, I know what I said, just don't do what I said exactly how I said it, please. Because a lot of my experience with working with these LLMs is the way we think about things is not as linear. At least some of us is not as linear. And because of that, in terms of like maybe you write an email 50 times before 50 is an exaggeration, but like you write it over and over again so it sounds more exactly how you want to come off. AI and LLMs have been so forgiving, you don't have to do it all the time, but the more nuance you get, the extra little comments that will add to the end of a conversation can really, really impact how it takes what you said. Even if it's like an exhaustive comment, I don't need it to always be affirmative and like, now you're thinking like a creator. I don't need that, but sometimes you don't realize that you experience that. So it's kind of silly to me, the whole thing. Having said all that, in that time, ChatGPT apparently is going to help me build that. But right now, let's go back to here and update our Vine CS and see how that works. Which means I have to open up Xcode again. I always forget to open up Xcode. Every day. Every single day. Xcode is the proprietary software, I guess, by Apple. I don't know if it's an Apple product. I think it's an Apple product. And that is where my code will open. And I don't usually review it right now. Excuse me, pardon me, I'm drinking coffee. I don't usually review the code. I just kind of send it in and pray for the best. And honestly, I've been doing this kind of work for at least a year personally on different projects, and it is incredible. I mean, where it was last year compared to where it is today, it's unbelievable. The amount of work that it can do and respond to, and yeah. And the nuances are getting a little bit more involved, like I said, so it'll take things you say a little more literally, and it's just fascinating. Okay, so Vine CS. Did I open and update? Oh, all right. Let me open and update that. I don't have Xcode available for everybody to see. I'm not too interested in spending time doing that, respectfully. So I'm just gonna have the Xcode there. Just know that I'm gonna be dropping in code as I go. And updating is full drop-ins, which is going to eat my tokens, but I don't really mind. I will always have a backup. So we just updated the Vine CS, and apparently it ensures that the vines converge perfectly on the player and sag realistically when the rope isn't taut. Fair. And then the swing controller This update removes the rigid stick behavior. You can no longer push the rope out to the side unless you have speed. If you stop moving, the player falls directly under the anchor. Which would make sense. What this solves. Let me save this, actually, before I figure out what it solves. Save that, and then when I go back into Unity, it'll do a quick update to say, oh, you did the scripts. Thank you very much. Before I hit play, I'm going to hit save, because you can't save when you're in play mode. And I'm going to review what it has here before I give it a go. And maybe I'll go check ChatGPT soon. Alright, the invisible line slack physics. By changing if, parentheses, distance, which I'm assuming is distance, current rope length, so it only triggers when you are pushing the boundary. The player can now move freely inside the swing radius. If you jump and you don't have speed, you fall straight down, and the vine strands will sag visually, which means they like noodles, like pasta. That's spaghetti, is what I'm thinking. Vines, ropes, lines of anything with segments, I guess. Alright, I'm gonna stop talking, read the second one. Almost nothing. I don't like that, but we're gonna see. I want it to be somewhat possible. Be in movement and grab. Oh, no, wait. From a starting ground grab of the vine. So right now I'm responding individually to what it's saying, exactly what lines it's saying. Or I could save myself a bunch of tokens. I've never done this before, but by putting the first part of that sentence in quote and then ending it there. Or maybe I should end it with full rope distance or rope distance so that we know we're covering exactly that subject matter. I want it to be somewhat okay, so I'm basically responding to one of the prompts here. That's what I'm trying to do, at least. Toted off climbing now converges every single strand into the exact connected body position. Previously, they were maintaining a spread even at the bottom. Now they pinch together right where the player is, making it look like... Okay, well, we did that before, and I think it broke, so maybe that is back. Because the momentum base now, you can only do a full loop if you have massive speed. If you try slowly, you'll reach the top, lose tension, fall straight through the middle of the top of the loop slack rope, which is much more rewarding to master. I mean... I don't want the rewarding to master. It's supposed to be just fun out of the gate. Thinking Spider-Man. You know, when most people I've met, even if they don't like Spider-Man, like people I know who've harped about how much they don't like Spider-Man, which I'll never understand, but I do love photography and I love New York City, and I think he's pretty cool. To people who don't even like that guy, that game is fun because as soon as you sign into that game, as soon as you pick up your controller and they show you what you can do, you are just swinging. You are on a huge roll. You're having a great time. You don't have to play the game. You don't have to play the game. That is one of those few games like Grand Theft Auto. It's a bad comparison because I'm just picking another open world game, but it's a satisfactory open world game that requires very little interaction. So this is what I'm going for too. I don't want it to be so hard where it's like, oh my god, I don't know how to swing. It's like, I want you to be able to swing 150 meters right away and feel like you're in the jungle while you do it. Birds are flying, there are bugs and stuff. Now that I think about it, you should definitely be able to get bit by a spider when you're not paying attention or something, or you're too idle, or like nature should be able to get you like it does in what's that game called? Red Dead Redemption. Or technically Grand Theft Auto. Alright, keep talking. Don't need to keep talking. The coffee is gonna do me bad. We're coming up on 2 o'clock. It's the end of the first hour technically, and I have another hour I'm gonna contribute to this before I have other things to do. Loop-to-loops. Let's not make this so hard to master. Let us consider that the fun in the game will be in quickly picking up the controls to it. And speaking of controls, I really should be testing out with a controller, but I haven't gotten confident enough to start messing around with that. So, but I'm sure it'll be easy. I just don't know how to map at things and whatever. Okay, so I'm going to update that. I'm going to send that in a second. I'm going to go back to Unity real quick. Love this direction. You're moving in the gameplay language assets, not the platforms. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Soft surface platform. The player can land on from above, can pass through from below or sideways. I don't want that. But I guess we all want that. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll read through and I'll stop and I'll be like, wait, that's not what I want. So I'm going to specifically say that before I resend my prompt. Because if I do that, then it will just avoid including that. Sometimes it will inevitably include those things, but so I'm going to say not necessarily a soft surface platform. And in parentheses, though I will want to make those after, because that's a good game plan to make something exactly like that. I am thinking full pass through up or down. So my logic, right, because I've worked in Unity just enough to know a couple of things about kind of how this stuff works. My understanding is like you can have this flying. How do I explain this? Full pass through up or down. Oh, right. When you're passing through an object, through a plane, whatever I end up making it, when you pass through it, it's just whatever the object is. But in my mind, it's like, let's say it is a cluster of branches. That particular block, in a perfect AAA world, you would pass through it and the branches would animate. And I know that it's certainly possible to do that. I know that you can basically have a trigger once one object comes in collision with another, and that would trigger an animation, which is exciting to think about. That's all I'm trying to say. And maybe I should have that integrated so that maybe when you pass through it, it changes. Okay, my vision is it changes color into a new color. Like it's like a kind of like passing through a ring in like a flying kind of tutorial or whatever. It changes color, make not a ding, but like it's a reactive color change. So it goes, let's say the block is red, you pass through and it turns purple, and then it's like bright, like distinguishable purple, let's say, and dark red or something, and then it slowly reverts with a gradient back to that red. That's my thought for a visual of how that would look, so that you could know you just went through something, and it would be a signifier. Okay, when an object passes through this platform reacts. That's what I'm trying to say in 850 million words or less. All right, I'm thinking of full pass through. I want to make it reactive. I'm going to just describe mostly of how I said it would be reactive. For instance, a player goes through a platform. It would be different animations for going up or down. So let me just stick to the simple idea of animating the color the way I want to do it. For instance, a player passes through a platform. Let's say maroon red material. Player goes through a platform. When in a not standing state, but like pause state, like in a waiting state, let's say waiting state. Let's say maroon red material when in a waiting state. Once contact is made, the color material will change to I said purple, but I should probably pick something. I don't want to pick green. Blue. Orange. It's really green or teal or... Let's say turquoise. I don't know why turquoise. Let's say turquoise. I should just say teal. 2 maroon / dark red. No, change to teal. Vibrant teal. I think those colors I'm going to have to set myself, so it doesn't really matter what I ask it to do in this case, but I'm trying to describe my idea of how the visual would look, and what I find is that sometimes when I describe it, it makes a concise way of... It explains it to me in a concise way what I'm trying to ask for. So, the color material will change to vibrant teal, signifying a player has passed through the object, and then it will slowly return via 2-step gradient to the... I want to say standing state, waiting state. I'm just going to say waiting state. To the waiting state color. Maybe make it glow before it fully one time before it quote resets its state to what? Resets its state to what? To waiting. I can't figure out what that word is. There's a word there. It's like a passive. Stupid. It's a passive state. Cannot figure out the word. It would have figured it out for me, but I just make it glow with the like a pulse. Strong and soft. I don't know why this is the visual I have. And I said no visuals, but this is what I'm using ChatGPT for. I think ChatGPT is good at translating visual ideas. I think Gemini is outstanding at code, and I know Claude is really killer at code, but even though I pay for it, I run out of that stuff real quick, and I don't want to keep running. I was working on an app last night for myself, and I hit my limit. I'm like, I paid for this. I hardly hit a limit anywhere else. Like ChatGPT, I never hit a limit really. Gemini, I've hit a limit occasionally. AI Studio by Google, I've hit a couple of limits. Claude, it's like, you get a good idea. You want to be just so clear and concise yourself. Otherwise, it's going to take you a while, and before you know it, it's going to be like, you can use this again at 3 in the morning. And I'm like, I'll be awake then, but God. Okay. To a passive resets to to its passive state. I want to say if possible, but I don't like those little nuances. You really don't want to include. And we're going to delete this because I don't need more stress about things to add. Let's just... This guy's going to help me build a platform. We're about to go try out our physics and vines. See how this looks. If the dynamics look a lot better if I can climb it properly. Ah, yes. Classic. I have lost rotation. And I cannot see my vines. Okay. Alright. How am I going to do this? Quick feedback. What I'm going to do is I'm going to revert my code real quick. Oh, please let me revert my code. Thank you. Thank you. Alright. It trimmed my code and I probably missed that. So, quick feedback. I think the code was trimmed because no directional input from my directional keys. B. I can no longer rotate. C. My vines are visibly missing. D. This, check out the old files and help me fix this up. Alright, because I won't be able to do anything until then. That's a lie. I'll be able to continue doing whatever I'm doing. But I need to save this down so it works again. This is the old state, so there are my vines. I can rotate. My directional still don't work. Oh, what the hell did I do? My directional still don't work, but WASD does, and the rotate does, and my vines are there. So that code was good. Definitely don't want to fuck with it too hard. And we'll see what that looks like. Oh god, this could be so much fun. It's just going to take a while to get there, and today we're making less progress somehow than yesterday, but it's a lot more explorative thinking today. It is Friday, after all. Technical stuff isn't as fun. Okay, so let me bring these code files into here, drop it off for Gemini to review. And we're going to stop this. Just conserve some memory. All right. And a very jungle traversal game feeling you're describing. Reactive pass-through traversal volume. Not a platform, not a bounce pad, not a trigger-only invisible zone. What would be a trigger? Like water, maybe? It's a physical object with identity. It can swing through, fall through, reacts visually, resets over time. Flow base level. Yeah, okay. It's not a collider. It is a trigger volume with a visual mesh and a state-based material transitions. That's what being concise is about. That's how you're concise about explaining what you're trying to do. I have no idea how to be a game developer. Do I know that trigger volume is a thing? No. I don't even know what that means. I mean, technically, it reads like, okay, trigger in this is like when something happens, this thing reacts. But it says volume, and I know that has nothing to do with sound. It has to do with like space and mass. Like three-dimensional. So it's generally just an area that reacts, but it's not a platform. Which I don't know. There's a reason. And it has state-based material transitions, which is exactly what I'm trying to explain. So the structure will be pass-through platform, empty root. Alright, we're going to put this in platforms, though. Let's put this in platforms. Pass-through platform. So we're going to start with just making a new empty object. Call it pass-through platform. I'm not going to call it empty root because it's just telling me it's an empty root folder. In there, no, I misspelled it. For the love of God! Gotta be kidding me! I just made this thing. Platform. Did I spell everything else right? Okay. Perfect. That's going to be a mesh renderer, actually. So I've never made a mesh renderer. Rendering? Nope. Spline? No. There's volume. Is it 3D object? It looks like it might be. Legacy, maybe. I don't think text mesh is it. Effects? No. UI? Text mesh again. Text mesh pro. What is in legacy here? No. Input field. AI. Okay. Mesh volume. I don't know. So I'm going to have to figure that out. The separation is very important. So. Okay. Create the root object. So dumb. Right click. Create empty. I thought it was going to be pass-through platform. Now I'm Unless I fucked up? Nope. Alright, right click, create empty, rename. It's getting renamed to that. Ditch the space. It's a little chilly. Reset transform. Zero, zero, zero. Scale 111. Okay. I have no idea where anything is. Oh, that's why I don't know where anything is. Huh. I don't see it yet, so I guess it's not around. There we go. Perfect. Let's see. Right click the platform and create a cube. Scale it to look like a thin cluster branch. I don't really want to do it like that, but fine. We're going to make a 3D object cube. Oh, that is a sphere. 3D object cube. And we're going to call that visual. Right? Scale it to look like a thin branch cluster. 4.44. Okay, so that's there, and I want to move it up so it's visible. I know where I want to put it. Just getting used to. I'm not very good at maneuvering 3D landscapes as well. I have to get better at that. That takes a lot of practice. Getting comfortable working in spaces like this. I am moving this over. I'm moving this up and over. Yeah, you know what? I think I want to do that. I think I want to make it look like that. Okay. Important. Remove the box collider from this cube. You got it, boss. Remove that. So now you can pass through it. We don't want physical collision. Add trigger volume. Okay, right-click PT platform, and we're going to add empty. And that's going to be called trigger. So before we continue to do this, my brain is saying, you're going to make we've made the platform, you can pass through the platform, and now we're making a trigger object, which is going to be, well, it says box collider, but that trigger object is going to let the game know when something has collided with it and passed through it. So let's see how that looks. Okay, so let's give that. Is it just box collider? Yeah. I'm gonna add the component box collider. All right. Let's see. Trigger is on. Let's make sure that's going. Size slightly larger than mesh. I don't think I have a mesh, but that's fine. Okay, so this is the scale. So what we're gonna do, I hope I did this right. 4.5. I feel like I just smelled sweet bread, and I got really excited. I like a nice sweet bread loaf thing. And then now, before I scroll down, I would go into visual and then anchor override, mesh, layer. I think layer. Maybe it's layer. Making it up as I go. Okay. 4 states. We need 4 materials, so we're gonna make some new materials. New material. We're gonna call it Matte PT. Idle. Idle was the other word. I forgot about. There's passive and there's idle. Oh, I'm about to run out of coffee again. What is going on? All right, darkroom maroon. I forget how to assign this. There we go. Dun, 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 dun. 0.35, 0.5, 0.8. 0.35. It won't go 0.35. What? And oh, I forgot 1 fucks with me. If I hit 1, it's gonna mute me, and I will forget. Let me do that again. I want a dark maroon, something a lot like this. Something a lot like that. Alright, so we have maroon. We're gonna make another one. Contact state. Nope. Create a new material. MAT-PT active. And that is vibrant teal, which I can figure out. I like that. And pulse, reset flash. We're going to need another material. Excuse me. Pardon me. Bright red glow. It's a little brighter than this, I'm pretty sure. These are different reds, I swear to God. It's probably imperceptible on any other app, or like any other visible, but to me, those two are different reds. I know they are. So, alright. Emission on. I did not know emission was a thing. Alright, pulse. Emission on. Emission on. That must mean glow, because it emits. Set emission strength to around 2. Real time? Baked? Not baked? How do I fix this? Tiling? What? I'm assuming tiling is like... Actually, I don't know what the hell tiling is, so I'm gonna... Almost there. Set emission strength around 2. Oh, we have to do one more. It's kind of a little annoying, but it is what it is. New material. Fade state. So, I don't know if I'm doing overkill, but I guess today I'm going to refine the vines and have a new platform created. And then I guess over the next 3 days of planning, I should aim to have a vertical setup. Maybe something very common in video games you'll see where people are going up a room in a circular fashion and they have to maneuver. A lot of games do that. And have maybe a main vine in the middle to practice climbing all the way up. But I'll get there if I can get there in the next 3 days, or 3 sessions. Empty fade. Muted warm red. It's muted, warm, muted and warm. That's pretty close. That's pretty close. Okay. Assign idle material to the visual mesh. Idle. Which one was idle? Red. Nope, that was pulse. Come on. Shit. Is it teal? Active. Fade. Idle. Oh, it's the maroon. Duh. Okay. Assign it to the visual mesh. To visual... Did I do it? I don't want to fuck this up, but it won't let me attach it to the visual object, but I can attach it to the parent. What do we call it? PT Platform 01. I've been talking. This keeps happening. If I press the number 1, that's my hotkey, and I've just been talking. Kills me. I have to be aware when I press the number 1. Anyway, we've made a lot of progress so far, and I haven't had to fix too much yet. Not too many hurdles. I pasted in text code, that's saved. Is that not? Oh, okay. So, pass through. Destination. Just copy these. I don't know. I don't know. Just do the thing. Okay. So that's there. That code's ready. I don't need to remove that. I do need to ask help. Help me determine. Just help me navigate the mission part here. Because I'm almost done, I think, with this conversation. Okay, select platform PO. That's the root. Add component, pass through platform. Booyah. Excellent. So my brain will put 2 and 2 together. The idle mat state will be that. The active mat state will be the teal. The fade will be this. And the pulse will be... Oh, I did it backwards. Fuck. Fade and pulse. And then it returns back to its whatever state. Timing duration, half a second. Let's do 1 second. Fade duration is definitely not 1 second. Oh, active duration, half a second. So turns teal for a half a second when you switch it in. And then my mic is getting staticky. Cannot believe it's still, or it's 2:30. The day is just getting away from me. Fade duration. You pass through half a second, then it fades for 1 whole second. And then the pulse is like really fast. So let's do even 0.35 or something. I don't even know if that's legal. Okay, so I set that on my own. Your player must have tag player. So let me make sure. My player probably has that. Their tag is untagged. Now their tag is player, unless I'm going to put tag player on both. Tag player. I did it to the player layer and the underscore player, and then parentheses parent or root, I guess, because you've been referring to root. Trigger one on fire. When player turns fuel instantly, slowly shifts to warm red, emits a right. Okay, no. One-way drop leaves? I don't want that. Wind sway zones? Don't want that. Momentum boost branches? No. Breakable vines? That's awesome. But I just don't know how I'm going to integrate that. Combo traversal scoring. I think something that would make the game a lot more interesting, reading that, is you have a component of the game that is truly open world, where it's kind of like a sports game. Like, this idea of getting combo points for swinging is kind of dumb in a game where you really do have a purpose of being a hero. Because that's kind of what you're going to be. Tarzan, or Tarzan-esque. Your character, your player, is hero of the jungle. So, you're protecting the jungle and swinging around it. If you were accumulating points, I think it would just be kind of annoying. It's like, oh my god, I missed my 500 point jump. It's like, maybe you can turn it on, but I think it would be better if there was a whole separate, not version of the game, but like gameplay style of the game where you could play for points. And it was more of a sports, like, it's a game that has a sports feel. And I say sports because it's very much scoring. You're gaining and earning points. Gamifying the swinging. And I think that would be fun, as opposed to mixing that up with, oh, gotta land this 1800 point combo before that leopard eats that tortoise or something, which I don't know if that's selling the game, but that's an idea. Alright, so I can finally go back to trying stuff. And let me finish reading what it says. I'm building now. I know. Built it and testing now. And let me see what Gemini said. We had a whole update from them too. I want more coffee, but I shouldn't. I should probably drink water. My water bottle's over there. Oh. The day really just gets away from me. Especially when I'm doing this. And I'm tired. Go figure. Okay. I hear you. Let's bring back the full functionality, fix the broken inputs, and implement the momentum pumping and hand convergence logics you requested, while keeping it fun and intuitive. The next thing I do want to work on, at least for the capsule, is... This is kind of annoying, but maybe I just need to get a model, like a 3D model of like a polygon. I can download that, I'm pretty sure, actually. And I can download that for free. And I can start to test arms, hands. There's got to be free rigged 3D asset components. I have to look that up. It's got to be. Look it up here real quick. Free polygon models, free 3D poly rigged Unity. There it is. 367 rigged free models. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Man in a suit. Oh wait, I gotta. There's 367 under free 3D models. I can't filter. I can't sort either, because I'd rather just see the free stuff. Nathan animated walking. Base character rigged. I do like this. Let's just download. I'll download that. Wait. You know what? I'm gonna hold off, but I know I can make that. So that's really cool. Let me finish what I was doing, because this is exactly how I get off track. I was supposed to work on the vines. I made the platform. I want to try the platform, but I need to fix the code. And then I'm going to check one more time with ChatGPT. And then I'm going to come try it again to test the platform. All right. Functionality. I didn't need the mouse to come back, but that's fine. Fix the logic error where strands may not initialize and fallback material check. Okay. You can now walk the swing. If you're on the ground, holding the vine and walking away builds tension. Walking back, forth, starting a sway makes it much easier to transition into a full swing. Stellar. Strands now pinch together perfectly. Okay, yeah. Pumping momentum is now forgiving. If you press movement keys in the direction you are already swinging, you get significant boost. Okay. Let's see if it actually restored the code like it's promising. Seems like it did for there. Made a small tweak. I'm making that assumption based solely on the fact that there's a couple more lines of code in that whole body. And vines, yes. Fixed hand convergence, no toting off. I shouldn't have said toting off. I don't even know what the hell I was talking about. I shouldn't have opened my mouth. Now it's going to be like, it doesn't tote off anymore. Don't worry, dude. I don't know what I was asking. Slack sagging logic. I like how they do capital Slack, so it's like the work platform. Instructions for February 20th. Check your materials. In the inspector, make sure material is assigned to the vine material on cube. If it's null, pretty sure there's something assigned. These are saved. These are saved. This is saved. Let's go back to Unity. Re-update. I'll double check to make sure vine cube has a material. It has a color. It doesn't have a material. Oh, maybe I just adjusted it from that bright green to that shitty thing. Alright, whatever. It doesn't even matter. Okay, let's save that. Hand grab. Notice in update physics that E position now uses is holding, question mark, and colon, dot, 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 dot. This is forces every strand to converge on the player's center, effectively putting the vine bundle into your, quote, hands. Which is why I do want to introduce proper 3D rigged model at some point. So it looks visually like the arms are grabbing, or pulling, or holding. And to build momentum and stand still, walk left or right, forward, back. You'll see a player walk this way. Jump! The boost logic of live physics will kick in. Okay, cool. Great. It's fantastic. Gemini hasn't been helping today, but AI Studio with Gemini has. Weird day. Let's see. You're very close. This is super common community. Oh, right. Emission, what it does. The material glows on its own. You do not need to light source. I didn't know that was a thing, but it's good to know. Not the others exactly. Click Met Pulse. Turn on emission. Activates. That is correct. But let me... Emission map. Okay. Oh. So I have to pick the bright red. Oh. That's a glow. That's a glow if I've seen one. Drag the intensity to around. Where? On the HDR slider at the top. What? Oh. 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 I feel like such an idiot saying it like that, but oh. Alright, maybe I'm wrong about doing it the way I'm doing it, but maybe I'm actually doing it. It's orange now. I think I fucked that up. Oh, very fucking interesting. Okay. It intensifies to that, and then it comes back to its normal state. Global illumination baked. Change this to real time. You gotcha. Love that. Baked. How to verify it works. Gizmos. Go to scene view. Turn on. Where the fuck is Gizmos? Lighting? What? What is Gizmos? Great. Huh? It's that cat that says, huh? That's what I just said. Tag versus layer. I did it to the player layer. Tag equals layer. Completely separate checks. Select the player object. I think I already did this. I think I misstated what I did. What? Yeah, okay, I did that. Right, okay. That's where that is. Gizmos. Lighting. Exposure on. How about window? Rendering. Lighting. Exposure? Oh, fuck. Real-time light maps? Generate? You know what? I'm just gonna close that. I'm just gonna say it kindly. Where the fuck is Gizmo? Where the fuck is Gizmos? LOL, because I'm friendly. Alright. So, AIS has done its job. ChatGPT has pretty much done its job. And then, save this down. I'm pretty close. Oh, jeez. In your scene window, top right corner of the scene view toolbar. Gizmos? Oh. I don't know shit about Gizmos. Okay. It's told me 3 times how to find it. Okay, what it does. Okay. Okay. Look at the scene toolbar. Find this icon. A light bulb. But it's saying the sun. I thought I saw the sun, didn't I? At some point? No. I don't know. I don't know. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is where it's going to be scary because I have no idea what I'm looking for anymore. The sun? Debug mode? Alright. There's no sun icon. There's literally no sun icon. What else do I do here? Alright, fuck it. Save, and we're giving it a test. Coming up on 3 o'clock, like nothing. And I've accomplished making a platform and maybe fixing the vines. Oh, revising this. This still fucks me. Gotta fix that. That vine hangs forever. What? How is it so low? Vine's visual, Vine. Where the fuck is this thing falling to? I'm not understanding why it's so long. No idea why it's so long. And you know what? Vine visuals, I don't think I need it anymore. Okay, back to Vine Anchor. For the love of God, it just goes right through the bottom. Let's see what that looks like. I don't think that's what I want, but then again, I do want it to hang forever. Oh, look at that dangling. That's pretty nice. Okay. One thing I want to fix is I want it to not... Like, I want it to stop before it hits the ground. And I'm not sure how to fix that yet. I'm just so confused by how this part is happening. You know what? If I'm right, I go into play mode. I can go over here. Then I can go into scene mode. And see why my vine is so terribly long. Okay. How do I... This is really not fun. Oh, God. Alright. Oh, that's not who I wanted to drop it off for. Damn it, it wasn't for you. Copy. Okay. Before I do anything, I need to make sure the vines don't go 1,000,000 leagues into the void below the ground. I can try to make sure they are positioned accordingly. Hanging right above the ground. But if they are indeed ropes, in spirit, they should, quote, pull/coil upon touching a solid, upon resting solid surface. I think that makes sense. What else? What else are we gonna do? I need to send some screenshots. Like, what I just sent was nothing, so I need to send some screenshots. So that's the visual of what it looks like. I want to send everything I have in Cube, in the Cube Inspector. Wait, I'll just include Box Collider? No, I can't. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Up until materials, and I'll send another one. Did it add it? Damn it. I hate when it does that. Okay. So this is for Cube. And then for Vine, I'm not going to send anything, but for Vine Anchor, I'm going to send what it is looking like. Although, Line Render is not even on. So it's going to be like, I don't know what you care about. It's all in Cube, and you're missing it. I'm just forgetting that I added it twice. Oh my god. What did I delete? Fuck. I have to do second screenshot again of Cube. That's very frustrating. Okay, whatever. Figure it out. You can figure it out. I believe in you. Yeah, 1,000,000 leagues into the void sounds like a lot. Can't believe it's gonna be 3 o'clock. Okay, classic problem. Procedural rope visuals in the idle state just picks 6 or 7 points below the cube and stays there. I'm adding ground recast. Is it when idle? take the top. We'll take the leftover length and use it to push Bezier's midpoint outward. Okay, let's try that. Stop, and then we'll go for the vine. Every once in a while I do poke my head into the code and I decide I'm going to learn, or at least try to identify what parts I can tweak and how they're working. And I am curious, but I'm just not interested today. I'm going to keep making as much ground, pun intended. Alright, look at the vine script. How to set this up in Inspector. So we're going back into there. Look at the vine script component, which I believe is only in here. Right, I didn't add it to there. I took it from there. So vine script. Okay. Where are you? Pivot, global sag. Find the ground layer drop down. Am I missing something? Thought I did this. Go back. I'm not seeing that. Connected body. Transform. Nothing. Okay. Go in a cube. Is it under strand bundle? Which would make no sense. No. I don't see that. Let's see if I can troubleshoot as I move along, but I don't see that. Ground layer. So dumb. Wait, there's no vine there. Wait. So dumb. Okay. I always forget it's referring to the actual layer, so I have to do that. Select the layer your floor is on, usually default to ground. If you don't do this, recast will ignore the floor. Okay. Ground. That would be this. Pretty sure that would be this. Ugh, God, I hate when it does this. Alright. That's the ground layer. This is like the floor. Let's call it floor. Fuck it. And they should both be affected by that, but we'll go here. We're going to change this to ground. And then what we are going to do next is... Alright, click Vine A, cube, layer, go to ground, layer's default. Go to cube, I am very confused right now. Right, it's saying inspector, but it's not here. It's not here. It's not where I want to adjust anything. I don't need that. Don't need that. I need to go into Vine, where I have the Vine script. I will just send this. Even though I didn't think it would help before, I will send it this time. Okay. Layer. I do have the cube layer set to default, which is what the ground layer is set to. Send that. Send that. And let's just to be sure we have that. Okay. Did I set ChatGPT to do anything? Oh, right. Okay, haven't gotten there. Haven't talked to Claude today, but that's okay. I spent a lot of time on Claude yesterday. Vine's currently hitting itself. I don't know how it's currently hitting itself, because it itself is also... Oh, I didn't intend that. That would be great. Okay, there's a recording to check out. I need to actually invest in that. Okay. Because your ground and your cube are both on the default layer, the rates cast just non-code, the most important. Top right of Unity editor, click Layers drop down, and add layer. Let's just do it. It is cold. At least my feet are cold. 6 or 7, ground. You are brand new to the party. Select your cube. And then go into the Vine script. It's in its Vine scripts inspector. I don't see that. It's very frustrating. I don't see that, and nobody can see what's going on the actual thing here because I'm zoomed out. Okay. Where is my vine? Where did my vines go? Fuck. Fucking shit. Oh. Okay. Oh, fuck. Where did it go? Okay, it did go up there. It hangs from up there. It hangs from up there. Not seeing this. I do have to wrap up pretty soon. I'm tired. That's super cool. What else? Oh. Oh. Okay. Anywho, tired. Get my stretch in. I really want to make sure that the vines work properly and that platform works how I've set it up. And if I have accomplished those two things, I'm definitely going to call it a day. Because 2 hours of more work has helped and it doesn't feel like a lot has changed. But I think next time, if this all works, next time I'm going to find myself adding a rigged character. Maybe I'll swap it out in between sessions. But I'm going to trade the capital out. Ideally with a character that can walk, run, and grab onto the rope with a hand or an arm or just an extended component as opposed to just being a fall guy. That is the next step. As of right now, though, save this down. Okay. Select in your hierarchy default. Select your cube with the vine in the vine squares. Okay. Before I do this, please replace with this code. Once you save it, recompile with those new options. Okay, thank you very much. I suppose that was something of an issue. Alright. See how that looks? Vine script update. Oh, excuse me. There it is. Ground layer. Grow? Oh, did I only call it grow? I haven't even said it here. Stupid. Back to cube. That's set to ground. And then idle hang length. Interesting. Okay. I'll set that back. Let me save. That's what I did. Select the layer. Ground layer. Inner image looks 0. Turn it offset. 3.5. Don't know what that's going to do. This ensure that the vines start at the top of the block, not inside the center of it. Thank you. Let's see if this is positioned right, well, or in the right anything. It's up there. I need to move it back down, though. Alright. Let's go to stop. Cube. Vine anchor. Let's just move this bad boy down. 2. Let's actually do 0. Fuck it. Excuse me. I apologize for the big yawnies. Can't make that jump. That's okay. Can't make that jump. Okay. Position this a little lower. -3. I should be zooming in actually to see what I'm doing here. And that seems to be the hanging length. Maybe. Let's do 16. And then I want that collider box to be much bigger. I've done this before. Select the vine. I don't know this idle hang length, how it works yet. But that's what I was doing with box collider. There. We're gonna give that a shot. Getting pretty tired. Oh, what did I do? It's not hanging. Excuse me. Okay. So my anchor is there at the top. I can grab in that spot. Ooh. That's just the visual? Okay. Well, that's this visual. Yeah, okay. Alright. I want to finish this part today so bad. Okay. Pause. Oh, Lord. Look at that thing floating in space. Or is that me? No, that's my rope. That's my rope. So, an anchor. Is it because this is up in space? I really want to stop. Okay, so I think I moved it down to a safer setting. Still don't have it hanging, but... Not even. Fuck my life. Oh, wait. Wait, let's see where the anchor is. -3 and 0. Okay. -3. Let's do -3. I don't think this is exactly what I want. 0. 5. That's why 10 works, but then it's my scale. 2. Let's do 2. And let's do 5. I'm messing around with this stuff, and I really should spend a little bit of off time trying to figure out exactly if it's what I want. But that's pretty damn close. I'm getting there. Alright, that's the hanging rope. Does it hang all the way down? No. Holy shit! That's it! It grabbed at the bottom of the rope. Can I climb? Okay. Okay. Shit. I can climb all the way up. I get a little momentum there. I can descend. So maybe, in a perfect world, I don't necessarily need that cube to be visible. I'm assuming. Alright. So, one more tweak on that before I call it. So visually, the vine... I wish I could identify it. But visually, it's like this cube doesn't need to exist. If I turn off the mesh renderer, vines are still there. How do I identify where the fuck that is hanging from? Oh. Wait. Dare I say oh? 0.75 down. It's a lot lower. Vine anchors at -3. Vine is 0. This is at 5. 0. Even though I think that fucks everything up for some reason. I don't get it. 1. 5 again. The fuck? I'm not understanding. Oh my god. That's it. That's literally the pivot offset. Forgot about that. Which means that I can place this cube just a little higher. I can make the idle sway longer. Strand bundle. I've been talking. I always forget. I'm supposed to sign off soon. I'm just gonna drink a little more coffee before that happens. Alright. Coffee. I don't know what's been heard or what's not been heard, but I've successfully mostly figured out how the vine works. I've disabled that cube thing, and I want those strands to be a lot more variable. The pivot offset I fixed, but I haven't tested. This is Vine CS. Perfect. We're going to go into Xcode. Basically, it generated a code that helps my vines be easily adjustable. Where it says strand bundle here, I imagine that will change. Okay, here we go. Generation tool. Strand count to generate. So I can, let's say 9. We're going to randomize them. The palette, I should be able to, oh, I can. Look at that. Something a little like that. So we have a variation. Yeah. Hi, Ophi. Alright. I'm going to stop streaming soon, so you want to say hi? Ta-da! I said ta-da. Hi, baby. Just taking a minute. I'm making my little Tarzan game. Mwah. You're a nice girly. You're a good girly. Oh, she's so sweet. And she's so old. Because she used to be so young. But checked with my wife today, and she is indeed a baby. No matter how geriatric they call her now. Anywho, I don't even know if you can see her. Right. Okay, so random strands. I have a palette. This is crazy. Because I'm going to wrap this up. But what I made was a component for the vine. Or like within vines, I made a component to randomly generate vines. And I can keep it under some control where I have a vine palette. And I can add and whatever. But if I randomize, I don't know if that's exactly. Oh man, so cool, so cool. Okay. Oh, it can't be that. Okay, it's random, but fuck it. Let me add one more. I'll add a really dark green. Not that dark green, but we already have that though. I have a dark brown. Let's do just yellow, like a light yellow, or a light faded yellow. Gotta keep it on the warm side. Kind of a banana yellow. Okay. Let me just update that one more time. A little more random. Click to randomize is cool. Great. To randomize is cool. Can we turn that into that box that you click into an icon that is half dice, half six-sided die, and half painter's palette. Now this is quality of life shit that doesn't mean anything. Okay, so now I'm gonna save this up before I have that ridiculous request pass through, and I'm gonna give this one more test shot. And I'm going to do the one thing I haven't done yet. Now, these aren't stopping at the ground. Oh, they are actually. Right? No, they don't. Indubitably. But I can't select that object because it no longer has a thingy. Alright, fuck it. Oh, right. I died. I do have to have it set so when I jump and land. Did I do that right? I didn't do that right. Okay. Do it one more time. Or I spin under. I reveal the whole thing, and then I record where I set that Y value. Before I grab anything, I'm going to fix this. Stupid show. It's 3:18. I gotta go. Oh, I'm killing my time here. Doing what? Pause. Scene. Alright, let's see what this number goes up to. Wait. Wait. What the fuck? I just want to be able to grab this. Fuck my life. Ah. What fucked me before will fix me this time. Stop. -3. Oh. Where are you? Oh, -3 brought it all the way underground. So it's a 3. The offset's going to be, let's just say 4. Fuck it. The length is 19, so it's going to fall. I don't know how any of this shit works. I mean, technically it works. And it does bundle when you grab it. That's cool. And look at that swing. If I hold back, it still does that thing, but fuck it. The whole goal is to swing back and forth. And let's test this, even though I built it and I just never tested it. 4 is too high, but hold on, wait. I want there to be a ground offset. I don't know what ground offset means, but I'll figure it out. 3.2. Maybe 3.2 will cover that. Excuse me. Just love coffee. 3.2. Let's just try 2.8. And then I'll go, I promise. Even though I haven't tried that new platform. Fuck. I have to try that new platform. God. Tired. Okay. Let's just try 3. Go back to it. Round. Oh. Alright. 3 seems to be it. I do want shadows. But I also seem to have not set my ground layer to ground. And then that brings me back to a cube. And instead I'll do 2.5. That'll come up to the final hot mess of the day. Have I figured out what I'm doing? Is it clipping yet? Can't hear myself. Keep forgetting about that. I'm getting a phone call. I have to wrap it up. I will be back another day. Thank you for watching. Zeus Magoose out. ZEUSMAGOO.